Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Annie. I have another collective message for you today, and I'm going to, as usual, start with a little overview or some kind of like background energies so you can see whether or not this reading might resonate for you. So to start with, on the bottom of the deck, I've got the Fool card. And what this is telling me is that very recently you made the decision to embark on a new journey, okay? And this could be, I was gonna say, in any part of your life, or just kind of like in all of the parts of your life. But it would definitely be something that feels huge, that feels major, and perhaps something that you feel like others either would or did kind of disagree with or disapprove of or something like that, but that you knew kind of instinctively or intuitively that this was the right choice for you. So you went ahead and did that. You kind of made the brave move, and you've been moving into a new start for yourself in whatever way. I get the sense that it's actually in a lot of different areas of your life. So like a new chapter in a pretty big and far-reaching way for you. Doesn't have to be, but that's the kind of sense I'm getting. So then, diving into this specific message of what's going on right now, or what the cards are wanting to speak to you about, this oracle card came out, and we've got, if you can see that, it says sneaky person at the top, and it's number 42, if that's meaningful, and the kind of bottom phrase here is a person with a questionable moral compass. I don't think this is like predictive in some sense, although it could be, but I think more likely what the cards are wanting to speak to you about is some kind of dealing you're having with somebody who is potentially problematic, and probably that to some degree your new beginning was an attempt to get away from. I do think it's somebody from the past, so even if this is something that hasn't fully happened for you yet, although again, I think it probably has, I do think this is somebody you're already dealing with, and I also don't think, even though I know it says sneaky person, I don't think there's something happening behind your back in a way that like you're not aware of there being an issue. I get more the sense that there is somebody who thinks that they are sneaky, who thinks that they can manipulate you, but you've started this new beginning and you've bet on yourself in a pretty big way, and it's making it pretty obvious to you, even if you don't know all of the details of what's going on, quote unquote, behind your back. It's pretty obvious to you that this person who is in your energy, who's showing up for us to talk about today, is problematic in whatever sense, right? So this is something I think that you see, and something I think the cards want to help you move through, process, whatever it is, so that you can kind of put your focus back on this beautiful new beginning that you're embarking on. So if that resonates for you, let's dive in. So the first card we have of kind of like where your focus is right this second, we've got the Three of Swords. And I don't know if you can see in this image right, but we've got like this broken mirror with this kind of like shadowy figure there, and the heart is sort of ripped out. I get a couple of things from this. I know the Three of Swords can be a pretty rough card to see as like your main energy and your main focus here. I don't get the sense that you have this like, you know, in like the Rider-Waite-Smith, there's like these storm clouds and like the swords through the heart, whatever. I'm actually not really getting that energy here. I don't want to suggest like you're delighted by like your awareness of what this person is doing to be problematic, but I do think that there's like, I get more of the energy that you are sort of in your head, and you're recognizing that whatever illusion you thought you had, like I suspect this is somebody that you really cared about or that you were close to in some way. So that could be that this is like an ex-romantic partner, it could be that this is like an ex-friend or something, family member, something like that. But this is somebody where you thought there was a lot of love shared between you, and I think what you're focused on right now is not just realizing that wasn't true. Again, I think you already knew that. I think you've already tried to move away. I think what you're kind of going through is this like clarity of both having like thoughts and like telling, like truth telling, at least to yourself or to your therapist or your friends or whatever. I mean, it could be to this person as well or to others, I don't know. But having a clear narrative about what's going on, that this person does not have your best interest at heart, right? That this person does have a questionable moral compass or is acting in a way that is really out of alignment with you at the very least, right? I would suspect probably also out of alignment with the energy of love, but that's just a guess. I also think that you're being reminded that this person's behavior is not a reflection of you, right? Like, seeing that missing heart in this mirror, right, is saying to me, perhaps there was a time when you were like in a more loving exchange with this person, that their behavior would have felt like something you could see as a helpful mirror to give you feedback. And I think the cards are very clearly saying that is not the case, and that that's something you're focusing on, that like, this has nothing to do with me. I might need to address the situation, and I think you probably do, at least within yourself, if not, externally with this person. But you know that that's something that they don't get to dictate, like, how you do that. I almost want to say anymore. So perhaps there was a time that you felt like they did get to dictate that. And that was probably pretty subconscious, right? But you're pretty clear now that they don't get to do that anymore. So you've also got this energy currently of the Eight of Swords here. And you can see this is from the perspective of like the person that you would normally see in this card, right? Where you're looking down and you see that your hands are tied, but they're tied pretty loosely. And it looks like if you wanted to, you could get out of these ties, right? I suspect here's what's happening is, although you're having this clarity around the fact that this is not a reflection of you, this person is not somebody who can be trusted, you would like to kind of move forward and behave differently or tell a different story than you've been telling. I think you see the places where probably past beliefs you've had, past stories you've told, even just protective mechanisms are coming up and kind of saying like, are you sure? This seems like it could be a dangerous situation. When I say dangerous, I mean more so like the parts of our head that have memories of past experiences or fears, things like that, are kind of coming up and being like, oh no, danger, danger. I hope it's not actually literally dangerous. If it is, please get the appropriate help to deal with that. But I more so mean, when those like warning lights go off within us and say like, oh no, this is problematic. And that might still feel true here. Like, whatever this person is doing, it probably is something like hurtful and harmful, and those alarm bells are going off for a reason, right? To tell you like, hold on, there's danger here. Like, there's a problem. There's something we need to look at. And I think in the past, that would have made you feel small, or like you had to stay stuck, or like you had to behave in a certain way to kind of soothe them or placate them or whatever it is, right? It's probably going to be different for everybody listening, but whatever the case, those stories or those kind of protective mechanisms in your head, it's not to shame them at all, but it's to say that you're like in a place where you're being invited to untie those ropes from around your wrists and say like, oh, hold on. I can let this new energy flow. I'm in a new energy now. I've made these new choices. I can see things differently, and I can make a choice to free myself and behave differently. What that's doing for you, right? And I don't know how much you've stepped into this or how much this is sort of subconsciously growing, but you've got the Queen of Wands here in this sort of like energy that is growing within you right now. And that says a lot of things to me. One of the big things it says to me is that you have done or are in the process of doing the quote unquote shadow work. But I don't even think that's in the traditional sense of you're looking at things about yourself that are hard to see. I think it's more so like things that just have been in the shadow because of whatever beliefs you've had. I think you've looked at those things and said, oh, again, I can tell a new story. I can do things differently. I have new energy now. And what that's allowing you to do is sort of be, I want to say like a little bit impervious to this person's nonsense. Again, not saying they can't do anything to hurt you. I don't know who this person is, and they probably can. There are probably ways they can come at you, and they're probably trying to do those things, right? But I think what's happening here is you're very clear that this person cannot tell you anything about yourself, and they cannot hurt your confidence or your strength. Like, you are embodying this fire. And for some reason, my eye keeps going to this candle here as well. And it feels very like, I tend my own flame. I have this strong sense of my own innocence, this strong sense of my own connection to my own divinity. You know, whether that's within yourself, your higher self, to God or spirit or the universe or to your own spirit guides, whatever it is. But I think you've got this very clear, like, no, like, I'm a child of the divine, and like, I see you and I see what you're trying to do. And maybe you even have compassion. I don't know if you're there, and it's okay if you're not, but kind of like, I see you. And I'm not going to play anymore. Because I'm the one with the power, as it were. And I don't know, again, I don't want to like make light of the fact that maybe this person does in some way have some sort of power over you in an external sense. And I don't want to say that doesn't matter if you've got like internal power. It does, of course. But it certainly helps to be in a place where you know, and what you're like kind of clearly developing in yourself is this sense of your own internal strength. I just keep wanting to say, like, nobody can say anything about you. Nobody can tell you anything about yourself. Like, you're standing in your glory, embodying it. Or if you're not there yet, this is what's growing within you. This is what sort of this choice to look in the mirror, see things more clearly, untie those ropes around your wrists. That's what this is doing for you, is giving you this gift of like an incredible, crazy amount of confidence, which is beautiful. You might have moments where you pause and you say, well, hold on. Like, I have these memories of good times with this person. We've got the Six of Cups here, right? And this card does a beautiful job of showing just that like reminiscent energy of like love and friendship and good times in the past and connection. And this is not to suggest that that's all false, right? And perhaps you'll get to a place where you can reminisce again, whether it's with this person or just on your own. But whatever the case, I think what the cards are saying to you is try not to lean into that energy right now, simply because that's going to take you away from your power and perhaps keep you like trapped in those previous cycles, right? Like, if your heart and mind are trying to preserve whatever, like, an honor in this particular way, whatever you had with this person in the past, I think you're going to keep your hands tied, right? Like, I think you're going to stay where you were, and those emotions are going to stay stuck where they were. And you're being invited to let them flow, like untie your wrists, tell new stories, let those emotions flow differently and take you in a new direction away from this person. And again, that doesn't mean you won't have these good memories, you can't revisit them later. I think it's just to say that, like, right this second, they are not acting in accordance with whatever beautiful memories you had. And so we need to look at them as they are and as they're behaving right now, at least for our response today. And you're going to be helped with this with, I don't know if you can see, this card is it says synchronicity. It's an extra major arcana card in this particular deck, which, in case you're curious, is the Tarot of Oneness. I think one of the best decks ever. That's just, my opinion. But anyway, what this is telling me is you are being, first of all, so protected, but also that this confidence building in you and this sense of like this newness and this new energy, this new decision, this new way of relating to this person or perhaps lots of people, is you're feeling incredibly supported in this by the divine, and not just internally, right, but through signs and synchronicities outside of yourself. I don't know if you can see this, I'll hold it up again in a second, but we've got like a white feather that's fallen. We've got like the way that the sun is setting, it looks like the angel like statue is holding it up, right? There's also an angel looking shape in the clouds. Like, there's all these different things. I'm sure there's even more than that, but like things that are showing you how much you're protected and seen and cared for. The other thing I want to say is I think these synchronicities are particularly pointing you, like whatever they are, they're particularly pointing you towards clarity and truth. Not just about this person and their behavior, but I think also about yourself and how much whatever you're doing to change is in alignment with want to say like divine purpose or something, as if I can speak for that, but like aligned with goodness and love at the very least, right? Aligned with enlightenment, aligned with truth. Whatever it is you value, it's aligned with that. And I think it's aligned with your authenticity, with goodness for you and those that you touch. And I think it's life-giving for you and for others. And so I think these synchronicities are coming and they're here to say to you, like, it's not that this person is like unworthy of love or something like that, but it is to say that you stepping into this new energy and you growing this confidence is in the best interest of everyone, including this person, regardless of what happens, because you standing in your truth and speaking truth and upholding like a higher moral compass, if you will, is something that is aligned with the good of all. So as this energy is kind of growing within you and as you're getting clarity on all of this, there's going to be a decision in front of you, and representing that decision, we've got the Tower card here. Now, that could mean that the decision that you are going to come to is that you need to like fully walk away from something, right? Like you need to be the one to knock the tower over. It can absolutely be that. I get the sense, seeing the Fool card in the sort of past position, as we did at the beginning, that you've already done that probably. And so that's probably not what this card is speaking about. But if you need to walk away from a relationship, a job, your family, you need to cut a friend off, whatever it is, I mean, obviously do it in a way that makes sense for you and makes you feel protected and safe and cared for and financially stable and all of that. And it looks like it's time to walk away if you haven't already. I was more so getting a different message from this, which is that what the choice is that's before you is to see that the tower has or is in the process of falling, and you've been sort of thrown out of it unceremoniously, and that's for the best, and that's a gift. And I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but I am saying I think the choice that's before you is to sort of stand up, dust yourself off, and be like, oh, I dodged a bullet here, or whatever that is for you. Like, I'm actually being set free. Like, I can just walk away. I don't need to try to rebuild this tower. I don't need to try to replay this game. Like, see whatever's happening, whatever you see this person doing, whatever this energy was that we started with, see it as an invitation to close this door and to close this chapter with this person. I'm not saying they're never going to do anything stupid again. People are out here being stupid sometimes, right? And like people are going to be stuck in their cycles as long as they need to be. And we can't like save them from that regardless of how we behave. But I do think that you can choose really different energy. And you know, the Tower card comes after the Devil card. And I often think of the Devil card as an opportunity for us to see the sort of neural pathways that are firing, that we're like allowing to keep firing without intervention. And so I think like seeing this Tower card now, the choice that's before you is to say, oh, I can pause. And it's okay if those neural pathways still fire. They will until we build up new ones, right? But I can pause, I can watch it fire. I can see that I would be contributing to this game if I let it keep going and I keep behaving in the same way or telling the same stories. And instead I can just wait till the firing happens, watch it, and then be like, okay, let's do something else. So I know that's like a fiery blaze here and sometimes quite a scary card, but I actually feel a whole lot of empowerment in that. And I think it's really aligning for me, I think, with this kind of candle that you're lighting, that you're finding the confidence to light in this Queen of Wands energy, where you're saying, oh, you know what? I'm gonna build something new somewhere else. And I might not even know what that looks like yet, but I do know that I'm in charge of my energy and I don't have to give it to you anymore. So that leads really beautifully into kind of the energy that you'll embody once you do this. And that is also another extra major arcana card in this deck. And it says life force energy. I think what's going to happen is you're going to feel a crazy surge of energy come back to you. I think when you realize, I shouldn't even say realize, I think you'd already realized this. I think this is just like kind of you making a final decision, probably somewhat externally, like internally and externally, to like put your foot down. And I guess I should say that could be in a really small way. Like externally, nobody else might kind of realize that you've knocked a tower over or that you've walked away from this fallen tower, but you will internally know because you will have sort of cut off the way in which you were engaging and playing this game, as it were, and contributing to this nonsense. I mean, I'm sure accidentally and from a place of love and honoring whatever this relationship was. But anyway, it probably took a lot of energy to continue to engage with or uphold or, you know, honor or reminisce about whatever this relationship has been in the past. And I think when you make this choice and see that you're not a victim kind of your own patterns or of this person's nonsense, not fully, I think you're going to feel this crazy surge of energy come back to you. I also think that you're going to feel a lot more grounded. I think, you know, those first two cards we had were both swords cards. Like that's like up in the mind. I think you're going to feel a lot more in touch with your body, with reality outside of you. It could be directly with nature, with animals, with other people. It doesn't have to be though. Like it could just be like a sense within you that like you've called your power back and you feel yourself present in your body, right? I think it also will reconnect you with the energy that you like kind of initially had taking this beautiful risk, right? With that Fool card we started with. I get such a positive energy from that, and that being something that was not just like you acting foolishly at all, but like you being like, oh, okay, like I'm ready for something else. Like making that decision with a whole lot of intention. And you might not know what's going to come from that. I think probably you didn't and you don't. And it's still unfolding, and that's beautiful. But you know that it's like aligned with your highest good and with things that light you up and give you energy and bring you life, right? And I think you'll be able to return to that energy or have it be even stronger than it has been because you've really walked away and changed. I want to say changed the game, which is not an expression I usually use, but anyway, changed your reactions, changed your behavior, and moved towards something better for yourself. Now, probably other people around you. This is the Eight of Wands card, and I just love this card. Probably other people around you are going to be wanting your energy, are going to be kind of urgently asking you for this or that, right? Or perhaps you're just somebody who likes to respond quickly, likes to handle things right away. Whatever the case, this card is here to ask you, again, I think it's kind of reiterating where we've been, to just take a pause. Like when you feel those responses fire, let them fire. You're probably angry, rightly so. You're probably quite sad, again, rightly so. You probably have a little bit of fear, again, reasonable, right? Like I don't know what it is this person's doing or what you've been through, but I do think that it makes sense that like those pathways be firing. Maybe this person is doing something that feels like it needs an urgent response from you. Maybe other people around you are getting riled up and like want to help support you in this. Whatever it is, this card is here to ask you to calm down, to not give all of your energy to that, and to really pull it back. And to remind yourself that you're allowed to dictate where energy goes and when. Nobody else is in charge of that. Okay, and that doesn't mean ignore everybody, F everybody else. I mean, unless that's meaningful to you, in which case, like, please do that. But it does mean, like, you can respond on your own time, right? Like, even if it's some kind of legal something, whatever it is, you still can take a minute, right? An hour, 24 hours, whatever it is, to calm down, to call your energy back, and to think about a different way that you'd like to respond. So don't let anybody else's urgency tell you what your urgency should be. Check in with yourself and say, what actually is necessary here? I will honor that. I don't need to worry about anybody else. What that's gonna do is really help you. This is the Page of Cups. I mean, this deck, I think it's called the Inspiration. The Inspiration of Cups. But it looks to me almost like there's like a heart coming out of this shell here. What it's going to allow you to do is call your heart back, right? Is to like reclaim your innocence. It feels very protected. It feels very regenerative. It feels like, oh, I've got my energy back. Nobody else gets to tell me how I can use it. And what that will allow me to do. See this heart space that was missing here, this person that was trying to manipulate me or keep me in my head and out of my heart. It's going to allow you to go right back into it and be like, oh yeah, I'm building a new life for myself. One where my heart is protected. One where I can make choices to keep myself boundaried around people who want to be ridiculous. These sneaky people, right? Again, I'm not saying you'll never have to deal with this person again. I don't know who they are to you. I'm not saying nobody will ever behave badly around you again. But what I am saying is you've done so much work and you're in the process of doing so much work, and that's enabling you not only to get away, which of course I want for you, right? Not only to break the cycle, which again is beautiful, and I think what the cards are really inviting you to do, but I think it's also inviting you to like stay in a really happy, soft heart space because you can. Because you know you've got your own back. And I don't mean there aren't other people around you who also have your back. I suspect that you do, and I very much hope that you do. But I think you've also got that confidence and courage to know that if somebody tries you, you're not afraid. Because you're the one that gets to say who you are and gets to speak truth about yourself. And that allows you to like maintain a lot of innocence and beautiful heart-based energy without worrying about what anybody else is going to say. So that's gorgeous. I love that for you. The only card we've got left is just kind of like, what will come of all of this? What will the reward be, if you will? Or how will you know this chapter is closing? And for that, we've got the Three of Wands. And what I really want to emphasize here is I think that this is almost calling me back in a way to this Fool card. What's happening here is that you'll know this chapter is closed when you can actively put your attention and focus and energy back in this exciting new adventure that you decided to be on, right? Like you're probably still in that process, but your just attention, your focus has been pulled by whatever this sneaky person's nonsense is, right? You can now put your focus back on this horizon that is taking you into this new life, this new exciting adventure for yourself. And probably again, like with other people who are aligned with this energy, who support you, who want to help protect you or encourage you or inspire you or whatever it is, in a new life where your values are aligned, right? And where you want to build new towers eventually with people who, I guess I want to say like your goals are aligned or your futures are aligned, but like it feels deeper than that. It feels more spiritual than that, where like your life force energy and theirs are supportive of each other, right? We're being around these people or these things, these jobs, these adventures, whatever, these locations. These are things that light you up and enable you to pour more love out into the world and receive more love back, right? Again, sneaky people will always be sneaking around, right? But you are building a life in which you're able to focus the vast majority of the time on excitement and happiness and goodness and connection and adventure. So that is beautiful and wonderful. I really hope that something in here was helpful or resonant for you. Yeah, thank you so much for letting me read for you. And if something in here was helpful and you want to like, comment, subscribe, whatever, I would love that. But regardless, hopefully I will see you again soon. And in the meantime, I really hope that you take care.